Hi, my name's Mark and welcome to my tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install WinUAE to emulate the CD32 system with Launchbox. Now I'm going to make some assumptions, and that is that you have Launchbox installed and it's running, and you have downloaded the WinUAE installer from the website, and you also have the files CD32 extended ROM revision 40.60 and Kickstart version 3.1 revision 40.60. I can't provide those for you, you'll need to find them yourself. If you have purchased Colanto's Amiga Forever like I have, you can get those files from the disk. Let's go ahead and install WinUAE. I have all my emulation stuff installed on my C drive in an emulation folder, so that's where I'll place WinUAE and install. Once it's installed, hit finish, right click on the WinUAE icon and open file location. We'll need to create a folder and we'll need to call it ROMs, and we'll need to copy these two files for the Kickstart ROMs and pop them into that folder. So if we go back and run WinUAE, you may get this message to say that Kickstart ROMs are missing. You can ignore this just now and hit OK. So from the Quick Start menu, we will change the emulated hardware to CD32. We'll go to Paths and change the default directory to the exe directory, reset to defaults and rescan ROMs. I'll come up with a message to say it's found to the CD32. You can hit OK. Go to configurations and create a CD32 configuration, hit save. You see it's appeared here and in the top left hand corner. Any changes we make, we'll need to save the config file, as this is what will be loaded later. So let's pop down to display settings for the host. You can change this to full screen, full windowed or windowed, change the resolution, etc, etc. Go to game ports, change port 2. I've got the Xbox Bluetooth gamepad and we'll change that to CD32 pad. Go to remap and test and just make sure that it's all working, which it is. Yay, fantastic. Okay, so that's fine. We can close that and exit. Okay, so back to configurations. Because I've changed the game ports, in fact before we do that, let's change port 1 to a mouse and go to configurations and save. If we hit start, we should be greeted by the Amiga CD32 boot logo, so give that just a second. Very dramatic. Okay, happy days. Okay, so now that we've verified that it boots to the CD32 boot logo, we can close WinUAE and hop over to Launchbox. Now we will import our ROM files. Next, and we will add files. Now I have Net to Drive set up to hook into my Amazon Cloud Drive where I have all my ROM files, and Commodore Amiga CD32. We will search for star.q files, press return. No, we don't, we need to search up here, silly me, sorry about that. Star.q files, there we go. Lots and lots and lots of them. So we will Control A to select all and open. This just takes a moment. Probably slower than doing it off a local drive because it's pulling the files from the Amazon cloud drive. There we go. So we will hit next, and we are importing Amiga CD32. Choose the emulator, so we'll need to add. So the emulator path will be where we installed WinUAE. It's an emulation folder. WinUAE. Now I'm not too keen when it does the dots and the slashes, so I would rather just manually put the location of the path. And emulator name WinUAE. Probably should have done it before I put the path in. Yep, I knew that was going to happen. Anyway, okay, so we need some special command line parameters, and I will just get those for you just now. Okay, so the first command line parameter is NORA, WHID. I discovered that this was needed in order to make the Xbox One Bluetooth controller work correctly with WinUAE. And then we put the F switch, CD32.uae is the config file that we want to run. Put the G switch and a small S switch. Want to quick start equals CD32, 0 dash cdimage equals. Now it's very important you tick the no space before ROM and then hit OK. Now I can't take total credit for the command line parameters. I did find them on a Google search on a really old archived forum. I don't have a link to that, but as soon as I find it, I will post a link and credit the person who first wrote out that command. So let's hit OK. Of course, associate the platform, Amiga CD32, set that as a default emulator, and OK. So hit next, use files in their current location, search for information from the Launchbox database, configure WinUAE, so I will do that just now. Let me just pause the video 1 second. Okay, so I've configured WinUAE. I have a lifetime subscriber and I have access to the high quality videos. Definitely worth doing. Prioritise these images over the game database. Next, I quite like the PDF files for manuals, so I'll leave that ticked. Everything else I just leave. And hit next. I'll then parse the files and we can start the import process. This will take quite some time, so I will pause the video and we'll come back when it is finished. Okay, welcome back, and we have 173 games imported successfully, so let's hit OK. And there we go, you can see all the games that have been imported for the Amiga CD32 in all their glory. Most of them have box art, might have to go in and change a couple of them. It's not a great big deal. There are mostly box art for most of the games, maybe not all of them. A couple of duplicates here or there. I just tend to go through them all, get rid of the ones that I don't want. Okay, so let's try a classic. Got to be Alfred Chicken. Double click. Give it a second. Remember, it's loading from the Amazon cloud drive. I actually done some testing on the Amazon cloud drive versus having all the ROMs stored on a NAS drive. No difference whatsoever. Yay! Cheesy music from the 90s. Woohoo! Okay, enough of the cheesy music. So, if you want to play on full screen mode, you simply change the host settings to full screen. Back to configurations. Oh, don't forget to load the configuration. Like it says up here, CD32, change the display settings. I always like to load the settings so I make sure I don't overwrite it by accident. Change it to full screen, configuration, and save. So I'll just quit, and let's try Beavers. So there we go, CD32 in full screen glory. Just give it a second to load. And there we go. Happy days. Ha! I have no idea what happened there. Anyway. Simple F12 and quit. Okay, so that is pretty much it. There are loads of games for you to crack on with. The installation process is very straightforward, as you can see. If I can do it, anyone can do it. This is my very first tutorial. It's not fantastic. There's no fancy music, no fancy editing. I do apologise, still learning, but hopefully we have all learned something today. Now I want to do a big shout out to Jason Carr for Launchbox. It's awesome, love it, big box mode, fantastic, and a big shout out to all the users of the Launchbox forums. Couldn't have done this without you guys. I have had my fair share of problems along the road, and it's great to have a community to bounce ideas off of. I'd like to do a big shout out to Simply Austin as well. Your videos are fantastic, man. Keep up the good work. And thank you to Emu Movies for all the box art, Launchbox Game Database for the box art, and hopefully see you guys in another tutorial with some awesome music and editing. Who knows? Any comments, please leave them. Open to constructive criticism. Enjoy the game, guys. Thanks again. Bye.